I'm Robin from thevibrantexperience.com and welcome to today's video. Here at The Vibrant Experience, we're all about living that fully alive, vibrant experience of life. And I'm going on a journey of discovering myself, of learning how to do that. And I'll invite you to come on that journey with me because I believe that there is so much more to life for you. Today, I have a really special guest, Rebecca, and she has an amazing journey of the challenges that she's faced in her life and what she's had to overcome. And I really think that it will encourage you in the challenges that you face as well. So Rebecca, welcome. It's so good to have you here.
Yep. Hi, Robin. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. So Rebecca, could you just introduce yourself and just share with our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I have 3 adult sons. So they age from 25, 23, and 22. So I married my husband. I will be married nearly 28 years. Currently, I also have an e-commerce business, which we started since 2013, that we sell soap that made out of goat's milk.
Awesome. So you've got quite the story that you were sharing with me on the phone that I was just amazed. I'd love for you to share your story with us today. And just if you would like to start just with your journey, just growing up, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a young person growing up?
Sure. So what happened is my mother, when she pregnant with me, she had what we call a teenage pregnancy. So at that time, my mother was the leader of a local gang. So she was quite young, and she was saying just a group of young people, they hang around, they would terrorize the neighborhood, stealing, fighting, and things like that. When she found out she was pregnant with me, she was told she needed to have abortion. But mom was too scared to do it. So afterwards, she was being told that she needed to marry with my birth father. But the marriage didn't last very long. So when I was less than 2 years old, my parents divorced, and my birth father actually got the custody right of me. And then later on, my mother met my stepfather, and then she got married and she moved to Sydney, Australia.
Right.
Yep. But however, when I was growing up, I was being told that my mother has passed away. So for about 14 years of my life, this is what I believe. Until when I was around 16 years old, I found out the truth through a stranger. And that's when I realized that mom's actually still alive.
Wow. How did that impact you? I can't even imagine what that was like to go through.
Yeah, because at that time, there was no counseling or like such thing. So for me, it was a shock, I had to admit, because I still remember the date I was being told that my mother's still alive. I met this woman in a park. Actually, even that was actually kind of the miracle, because she lied to my uncle to try to find out our phone number. So when she rang me out, I know she was lying, but somehow in my heart, it was like something was telling me that you need to go to see this woman. There's something that she's telling you, there's something very important she will be telling you. So I met with her at the park, and I still remember today. I remember afterwards, I didn't know how I got home because all my, I was just blank. Because I suppose that was my first reaction, was like kind of denial, because I thought this can't be happened to me. That's just not possible. Things like that only happen in a movie, in a like TV series. This can't be happened to me at all.
Yeah. Wow. So that's a huge news to receive, and I can totally understand why you go have that. You'd be in shock, and all those feelings that you'd have with that. So you mentioned that like after that happened, that you ended up running away. Is that right?
So what happened is, mom and I, we were sending letters for about 2 years. And then in 1989, I ended up came into Australia to live with her.
Wow.
But again, there was no counseling or so, because I think everyone just kind of thinking, oh, this is just like a fairy tale, then everyone lived happily ever after. But the thing is, there was a 14 years gap between me and mom. I didn't grow up with her. And so obviously she probably has certain expectation what I was supposed to be like. When I arrived in Australia, I couldn't speak a word English. I was suffering from culture shock. And on the top of that, I was studying year 11. So the pressure of learning the language and tried to communicate with my mother because at the time she was constantly getting angry and I couldn't understand why she was upset about. So then one day I decided to run away from home. And
Wow.
I end up living in a youth refuge, which is run by the government that accommodate runaway teenagers. So I stayed there for about 2 years until I met my husband and married. And that's when I moved out.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, so from when you got married then, what happened with your life then? Did it move into some sort of, did you feel a bit more settled with life, or were things still difficult for you? Like,
so I got married when I was 20, which is pretty young in today's standard.
Yeah.
So then we had 3 children, one after the other. So each of them is only about 18 months apart. So, and the other thing is the interracial marriage at that time wasn't very popular. So there was a lot of things me and my husband we had to learn. My husband's Italian, by the way. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'm Chinese. So we had to learn at that time to get to know each other's culture. On the top, the newly marriage, that we'll try to learn how to understand each other. So then we have 3 children, and eventually my husband has his own business. I was looking after his business. We have some investment property. Until I think roughly about 15 years ago, my husband, unfortunately, we had to close the business because he had really bad back injury.
Right.
And in one stage, we were living on, say, credit card for about 8 months.
Wow.
I had, and my children at the time, I had 3 children under 10. So I said to my husband, I said, oh, I don't care what kind of, we need to go out to find a job because we need some kind of income. So, and this is what I did. So I went out to find a job. I cleaned the elderly people's home.
Okay.
And I was working with 2 agencies day and night. But unfortunately, in one of at one of the jobs, I was assaulted by the customer's husband.
Wow.
And from there, I mean, at the beginning, I tried to brush off because I say to myself, I need to make the money to support the family. I try not to complete breakdown because I remember that time I heard the news, those people being raped and the rape victims still surviving. So I thought, I'm just glad, I thank God that I wasn't raped. But I thought if the rape victim can survive, surely I could do the same. So I really would try to brush off what happened. But what I underestimated was my body's ability to try to protect itself. So I start to, I start to find myself like really hard to breathe. I always feel like I was breathless all the time. I start to panic. I couldn't make a decision. Or sometimes I might drive, all of a sudden I just blank out and thinking what I'm doing in the middle, where I'm going, I can't make a decision. To the point it was really bad and I was admitted to the hospital. So after the doctor actually checked everything, they told me there was nothing wrong with me physically. So that's when they start to look into, emotionally. And that's when they told me, she said, and I was being told I was diagnosed what we call PTSD. This is what happened. And I was under the care for about 2 years.
Wow. I can't even imagine going through all of that. You've had such a challenging journey. And I just think it's amazing that you've just decided to keep going and to keep getting back up again and to keep moving forward. That's incredible. So with going through that journey, after going through all of that, how did you get back up again? Like, how did you keep moving forward and to make a life for yourself after all of that suffering that you've walked through?
I think at the beginning, when I first talked to the psychologist, she told me that because I was diagnosed early, so she didn't really want to put me on medication. But instead, she actually told me some technique, like how to cope and things like that. And then from there, actually one of the things she really encouraged me is to take small step risk every day. So she told me, she said, go out to do something as much as you can handle it. Because I remember straight after that, I found very hard to do a lot of things. Like I was once in the shopping center, one of those lady, the mega lady on the in the shopping center aisle. They just want you to try the product. She was talking to me and she started to grab my hand because she wanted me to put, she wanted to put some product on my hand. But my first reaction was actually push her away, because that was just like, just my body just kind of tried to protect itself.
Yeah.
So so the psychology was try to encourage me, say every day do a little bit things, see how far you can go. Then from there, I decided to go back to TAFE to study and retrain myself. But on top of that, I'll be honest with you, my husband helped me a lot, even the church. But eventually, I think it's really, if I didn't believe in God, I don't think I'll be here today. Because when I was teenagers, I was in one stage when I was in the youth refuge, I was actually considered, which I had done now, I actually considered, I had tried suicide at that time. But the difference this time is because I have children. So I kind of thought I can't. So the thought of if I kill myself, who's going to look after the children? So it's kind of the instinct so that you tell me, doesn't matter how bad it is, I had to get myself better. And so my husband was supporting me, because before that, I was looking after my husband's business. Like I mentioned, we had investment property. Then through the just virtually overnight, I found myself couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't even pay the phone bill without causing panic attack. So my housework was suffering for at least a few years. I didn't do any housework. It basically was kind of like just survival mode. I was probably just making dinner, make sure everyone's get fed, but emotionally, I wasn't really communicate with anyone. So the friends in the church helps out, and my husband really been quite supportive and helped me through that journey as well.
Yeah. Wow. It's recovering from something like that is no easy task at all. And I haven't been through the level of stuff that you've been through, but even just with some of the losses and illness that I've walked through, I know what it's like to be in that stage of, I just would stay in bed all day and just I couldn't face anything. I remember even because we lost a baby at 20 weeks pregnancy, and it was quite a traumatic experience. And I remember even just walking back into church or going to shopping centre afterwards, I couldn't handle all the people, and I just have to run straight back out. It's quite, it's a lot of there's a lot of things to process and to work through, for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, I never thought it took that much energy when you're suffering from panic attack.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, I mean, I know it's easy for a lot of people to say, oh, just push yourself out and get better. But the thing is, it was virtually like I was like seeing myself split to half. I was watching my heart and my logic was trying to fight with each other. And then you couldn't decide which side you're going to be on. And by the time it's a bit like you're on the roller coasters, so your whole emotional got so high. And by the time when I settled down, I just feeling so exhausted. All I want to do is just want to sleep. I didn't want to do anything. So in some way I can stand for some people who as a long-term sufferer, the reason they don't want to do anything. But this is the reason why the psychologist was telling me, she said, because I was early, I was picked up early, and she encouraged me not to stay home. She told me, you need to go out to do something. You need to try to push yourself just a little bit every day.
So what's for somebody that's watching this that is going through that level of suffering, what sort of little things would you do to go out, or to, what sort of little things would you do to help yourself?
I remember that time, first of all, I think the earlier you can ask for help, especially professional help, definitely is good for you. Okay. Now when I look back, I think if I actually leave very late, I don't know what will happen to me. So I think the earlier you can ask for professional help, even like speaking with a doctor, speaking with psychologist or counselor, it is much better. And then I remember when I was retrained to, I went to a TAFE to study to be an energy assessor. So I was working on the government program at that time. And that when I first started, it was hard because you kind of like wondering how far can you go. But this might sound a bit interesting, but I found at that time what's really helped me is because my job at that time was to helping other people. I had to listen to their story. I had to find out, although we try to help them to cut down on electricity usage, but because we're dealing with a lot of people in the low income, I had to sit there, listen to their story. And I realized a lot of people's, their life stories, quite a lot of them is actually worse than mine. So so it's a bit like for a period of time, I forgot my own issue. I was more focused on how can I help others. And I don't mean by that, it's like, I don't mean to say it's a bit like I just put my head in the sand and pretending nothing happened to me. But somehow it's a little bit like emotionally, I was like, try to just leave until emotionally I was strong enough so that I can come back and face it. But during that time, I found helping others actually helped myself to get over that journey as well.
Wow. Yeah, I've actually heard that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Carolyn Leaf. She's someone he says that when you are suffering and struggling yourself, helping others really helps. I can't remember her exact wording, but it just really helps you to sort of gets you out of yourself a little bit, I think. It just helps you focusing on something else, and just takes your mind a little bit off.
It does. Because my mind was taking out, like, try to focus on myself. It doesn't mean I don't want to look after myself, but I think sometimes you can get a bit overwhelming. Because even when I first started the business, remember I shared with the other lady, I said, at that time when I started business, there was, people talking about what's your 3 years goal, what's your 5 years goal. And honestly, at that time, my goal was like, if I can just survive the next day.
Yeah.
That was basically, if I can survive the next day and I can survive the next day. And then after the next day, I'll think about the day after. So I think sometimes when we so focus on ourselves, it can get too overwhelmed. So by helping others, like I said, it's not like we try to pretend nothing ever happened to us emotionally, but I think it just gives us a little bit the buffer, try to build that emotional, what do you call it? Like once we're strong enough, and then I can come back and actually deal with what happened to me.
Yeah, for sure. So what happens next in your life? Like, how did you move forward? It obviously would have it takes time, and it's a journey to walk through that. So the life that where you're at now, are you working full time? Like, how does your life look now that you're sort of healing and going forward on that journey?
So when I actually went back to be retrained, like I said, we start slowly, and then I was working as a energy assessor for about 5 years. It was at the end of one of the state government program, I decided to start my own e-commerce business. But even that, I was quite scared. But I remember what the psychology was telling me. So I thought, okay, let's just try a slow step. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at least I try it. So I try a little bit at a time and just see how far we can go. Right now, yes, I also work. I work part-time as well. And we still got the business. And I suppose in some way now when I look back, I can actually look forward a little bit further. But the difference is that I think throughout all those times when I realized what happened to myself, and also recently, about 2.5 years ago, I also had a health scare. My doctor thought I might have a cancer. So for about a month, I was in and out of the hospital doing different tests. And that was really another kind of turning point in my life, because during that whole entire month, I think I had never thought so much about life. I should say how to put it. I thought about so much about life issue in that entire month in my, I never thought about in any other time, because all of a sudden there could be a real possibility that I could die. So I remember the doctor asked me, he said, we need to do this test, and I had to come back to see the test result. And during the months, I was thinking about, because I'm kind of quite practical person. So I kind of go, okay, what is the first step we're going to do? Depends what stage of cancer. If I do have cancer, then what I'm going to do with the business. How's my husband going to support himself? What we're going to do with, I still call the kids, my children at that time still much bigger. It's like, what we're going to do. And I start to think about what kind of thing I might be missing out So, but then I realized I haven't been really looking after myself all those years. So that kind of also helped me to understand I need to look after myself. So I think after all those things, it does actually kind of help me to slow down. Because before, when I was like doing the business, I was really like just go, 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 that kind of person. And my husband always joke around because my husband said he never realized what kind of workaholic I am until I start a business. So I work so hard to the point sometimes I think I purposely abusing my own body because I basically just go, let's see how far we can actually pull ourselves through it. But it was during that month I realized I can't do this. I need to look after myself. So it's a bit like cliche, you know, something you watch a TV or the movie, someone say, oh, something happened to you, and then all of a sudden it's like just hit your face. And then you realize we can't continue the way as it is. So right now with my business at work, I actually had to purposely slow down. Not saying I don't do business, but I had to purposely doing something to look after myself, to improve the relationship with my family.
Yeah. Wow, it's such a huge learning curve, and I think it's so easy. Like so many of us, I think, go through that journey where we just go, go, go. We work really hard and just burn ourselves out, and then we pay the consequences in our health. And so while it can seem like a movie cliche, it's actually just how life is, isn't it? When you're going to that point and you have those moments of, oh my gosh, my life is on the line. It really makes you stop and take a look at your life and how you're living it. Yeah, that's amazing. So with the business that you've got now, I just thought we could just share a little bit with our viewers, like what sort of services do you offer? What's it like running a business? Just anything that you might like to share about it?
Okay, so the business we have is e-commerce business where we sell soap that made out of goat's milk. I start this business because I had really bad allergy skin. Ever since when I was young, you know, I can remember I'm heavily allergic with the things I eat, things I touch. So anything touches skin, I could have mild symptoms from, say, just rashes to when the severe symptom, which I had once, I had hives over the body and I couldn't breathe, which the doctor told me when that happened again, I need to go straight to the emergency section.
Wow.
And so I found in the past it was really hard for me to find a product that I could use because I did the test and I had a whole list of the product that I'm not supposed to eat, I'm not supposed to touch. But I'll be honest with you, I love food, you know, so it was really hard. So, because I told the doctor, why don't you just tell me to go to heaven right now? It's nothing else here to eat, you know. I think the only thing I could eat is vegetables and sausages. That was about all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very Aussie.
Really strict.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really hard. So now I thought, you know, or in the past where sometimes I might found some product I could use in the supermarket and only found them going probably disappear after about 2 to 3 years. So they might be on the shelving for 2 to 3 years. And then you're like, now I have to find the product over again.
That happens so much. It's really annoying.
And it's annoying because, like, say, for example, if I use the wrong product to wash the clothes, I have to rewash them at least a week.
Wow.
Because the chemicals and the things that the residue stay inside the fabric, I had to wash them off. Otherwise, I can't wear them. So this lead to me actually go probably, you know, what maybe I'll just find, you know, let's start a business to sell a product that I could use because I'm pretty sure there must be other people out there probably had a similar issue, just can't find the product. So we started in 2013. It was an interesting journey because I took out $5,000 from my home loan. And I said to my husband, let me try 1 year. If, like I mentioned, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, at least I treat it as I just learned an experience.
Yeah.
So we started just selling at the local market. So at that time, I was still working full time. So after the work, I will actually go to the office. I will still continue what I need to do with the business. Then on the weekend, I will go to the local market to sell, you know, different event to sell the product. So I think for at least about first 2 years, average I work between anything from 15 to 17 hours every day.
Wow,
for
that's a
about,
lot.
yeah, to build a, right now we sell like in online, because the business always start as online, you know, we're more focused on e-commerce. So we sell on our website, we sell on Amazon. We also attend any large events, and we collaborate with any other events, like high profile event as well. So like, for example, early this year, I entered in a competition, which was actually run by Koshi from Sunrise.
Okay.
And there was 9 finalists in whole Australia, and I was one of the finalists.
Wow.
Yeah, in the past I have done, we will collaborate with the local radio station. So I have done radio interview. We had collaborate in the past with Miss World Australia, New South Wales final. Even like in 2019 with my business, I was a part of Expo trading mission to China as well. So yeah, it was really interesting. So like I said, I didn't expect, I think when I first started around 8 years ago, I didn't expect we had this kind of experience, like this kind of opportunity. Because if you told me that time, I would just say, nah, it's too much. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because always I just thought, let's just try it. Just try a little bit. Let's see the experience. So I was really surprised how God has bring us through this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is, what an outcome to have. And I love you're just dropping a gem there about just trying it and just seeing how it go. And you're not going to beat yourself up if it doesn't work out, because it's a learning experience, and you've learned and grown so much from it. And that's an amazing attitude to have. If anybody's interested, I actually myself would be. I'm similar, as in I'm really sensitive to any chemicals. I have allergies, super sensitive skin, and I have to have everything has to be fragrance free completely.
Yeah.
All natural products. Even some of the fragrance free or natural products at the supermarket will still affect me. So I have to be like super so careful. So I relate a little bit to like it's all the things, all those changes that you have to make, and you have to try and find something that works. So what's your website? Where can people, if they're interested in buying it, where can I buy it? I'd love to have a look at what you offer. Okay,
so my business name is called Soap Developer. So the website is www.soapdeveloper.com.au. So you can purchase there. We also sell on Etsy as well. And Facebook page. Yeah, so I can give you the link. Yeah, and then you can check it out.
Awesome. So those links, I'll just pop them in the description box below, everybody. So you can just click on there if you're interested in having a look at what Rebecca sells. So Rebecca, before we wrap up, is there any other advice you'd like to share, or anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I think from what I learned all this time, I think there's a difference between success and significance. A lot of times we kind of thought, we're chasing after success because we thought, okay, if I achieve this amount, then I will be significant. But really, a lot of times, what we really want to know is what are we worth. So until we know who we are, otherwise we'll be chasing after the wrong thing. And second thing I also learned is that doesn't matter what you do. Okay, I think it is a channel that God want to use to achieve what He has a plan for you. So for me, I've been energy assessor. Now I'm doing a business. I don't look at a business as my final destination. I think it is a channel, it's a part of the plan, that like God's plan. I don't know what His final plan yet. But until then, while I'm still here, I try to do my best. But I don't think business, it is my final destination. So, so this is the reason why I'm saying that no matter what journey you're in now, you could be a stay-at-home mom. You probably think, I mean, I was staying home when my children was young. I stayed home for 10 years. I didn't go out to work. And I actually thought that was it. That's probably my calling, just staying home. I never thought about doing a business. But I think at the end of the day, no matter what we're doing at this point of our life, just try to do the best you can, because you just never know what opportunity God might bring you to it. But I think what He's asking us to do is just to do our best at this point in time.
Yeah, That's amazing. Oh, Rebecca, thank you so much for everything that you've shared. You've had so much wisdom to give, and you have an incredible story. And I really appreciate your heart just to come on and share your story, because I know it can't be easy to share. It's very raw. It's very, it's a lot, you know. And so I just wanted to thank you and honor you, and just I'm so grateful that you came on. So everybody, I really hope that you enjoyed what Rebecca had to say, and that it's really encouraged you. Feel free, if you really enjoyed it, to hit the like button, and if you're wanting to see more videos come through, just click on subscribe. I'm really enjoying bringing this content to you and just sharing these amazing women's stories. And yeah, so thanks for joining us today. Bye, everybody.
Bye.